the more you work with Photoshop, the more I hope that you start seeing yourself as a digital artist. The whole point of art is to help other people see and feel something in a new way, a way that you are experiencing something or seeing something. The purpose of art is to help others think about something that they haven't thought about before, or express something that you've never thought before. And so Photoshop can give you that opportunity to express yourself. In this photo, I've been playing around with clipping masks a little more, and I ended up with this composition. And I took the photo and added some shapes and lines and color and texture. I changed the form. I used the elements that you use in all types of art to emphasize a different feeling about the original image. When you start making some better compositions or better examples of digital art, I'd like you to consider naming your projects now according to what you're trying to convey or how you feel about what you've just constructed or created. I'm feeling like I would like to call this composition Pieces, or Pieces of Her. And the feeling that I get after I've created this is that sometimes when we know somebody and then think about how well we really know them, sometimes we only know pieces of another person. And so this image is making me think about how sometimes all of us kind of keep some things hidden or unrevealed, and I guess you could say a lot of us allow others in to see pieces of us, but not all of ourselves sometimes, and for good or bad. But that's kind of how I feel about this piece, and so that's what I'm going to name it. So I'm going to call it Pieces, or Pieces of Her. All right, well, I'm going to show you how I created this. Let me save this. I kind of like what I ended up with, so I'll go Save As. And I'm going to leave it as a Photoshop right now in case I want to work on it some more. So I'll go Pieces of Her, and I'll save. All right. All right, now I can make some changes. I'm going to throw away that and go Control J, create duplicate layer. Something new, I'm going to go down to this button down here. This also, we call it the half moon in class. This also opens up the adjustment layers, which are up here. But it gives a couple more that aren't at the top. I don't know if Posterize is up here. I don't think so. Posterize, you could do something like that. Invert, I think, is up above. But I'm going to go for, oh, now I got to delete those. Hang on. I'll just go Control-Z. All right. Click on the half moon. I'm going to choose what's called solid color. And I'm going to choose white for now. All right, so I have an adjustment layer that's a solid color. I could use a brush. And my brush is set at like 40% opacity. I'll turn the flow down. I will click on the brush. Oh, I forgot to click on the mask itself. And I can start painting her back like that. And then I could turn the opacity up. Bring back some in the middle. Create kind of a vignette effect. But that's not what I ended up with, so let's backtrack. All right, I'm going to put the duplicate layer above for now, and I'm going to add some shapes. You saw rectangles on my composition that I talked about earlier. The shape tool is right here, and there's lots of others to choose from, and the custom shape tool allows you to get all kinds of different shapes that are pre-made. And I'm going to create a rectangle like that, and it painted in black because black is in the foreground color chip. And I'm going to duplicate this layer. The way I'm going to do it is either right click and choose duplicate, or I could drag this down to the button next to the trash can, which is duplicate as well. Alright, I got two of those. Now I'll click on the Move tool, and there you see I have another one. Now if I press Control T for transform, and I take my mouse to one of the corners, I can tilt it a little bit and move it around. I can even use my arrow keys on the keyboard to adjust. I'll bring that down a little bit. Alright, and click a check mark, and then I'm going to do it again. Move it, and Control T, and move it up a little bit, something like that. Alright, check mark. Now I'm going to turn the visibility eyeball off so I can just see my shapes for now. And I'm going to turn the bottom shape off because that's going to be my my first example of it, or in case I need to make copies of it, I've got it that set. I'm going to merge these two layers. So I'm going to go Layer, Merge Visible, and then I'll get my original up. And I'm going to make a copy of the two together to save myself time. So I'm kind of being lazy. I don't want to keep making new ones, so I'm just going to copy what I have, use the Move tool, and do something like that. Alright. Move them to where I kind of want them. Alright, so I've got kind of a random pattern there. Alright, now I'm ready to merge all three. So I will go Merge Down or Merge Visible. Alright, and I'm going to turn this, I could turn that back on, but I don't want to do that yet. I want to show you that there's different effects that you can put on layers. There's a button called FX, or you could double click the layer. If I double click the layer, I get a layer style. If I go to FX, I actually get to the layer styles a different way. So I'm going to choose Bevel and Emboss. And I don't know if you noticed, but it puts a little bevel on it. You can make it go a little deeper. And I'm going to add stroke to it. I have to double click the word stroke to get the color. I'm going to choose blue, because I think there's some blue in the original photograph of the girl. Click OK, so you see there's blue around it. I'm going to increase the size of it a little bit. That might be too much. Something like that, I'm not sure. I don't know if I like that bevel anymore, at least not as much. So I'm going to turn the depth down. And there's other things you can do, shadows, inner glow, outer glow, things like that. So there's a lot to play with there. Alright, I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to turn this layer back on. Now I'm going to switch the layer order, so I'm going to drag this one above because we're going to do a clipping mask. So I like to think of a clipping mask as the opposite of our other masking that we've done, where we have the mask either above or on the same layer. For clipping mask, you put the mask below. So you're pushing the picture into the mask. So I'm going to go up to Layer. Yes, I am. Create clipping mask. And then that pushes the image down into the bottom layer. And I'll add my background, and so there's white. Now, I can change the color of that background. I can double click here, and I could make it that, or pick a blue, or whatever I like. Okay, something like that. And all of these options here are available. And let's say you've got pretty much a finished product, so then you can go Merge Visible, and then keep in mind that you still have options open here. I'm going to double click the layer or click on the FX, and I'm going to choose, I'm going to go the other way. I'll double click on the layer, and I'm going to add a texture, something like that. So pretty close to what I had last time. Here's a before and after. There's the before. Here's the after. Adds the shapes, add a little more mystery. a little more personality, and hopefully for some of your projects now that you do with Photoshop, that you think about possible message or feeling that you're conveying or feeling, and consider naming your piece accordingly. All right, good luck.